Next on MT10 News, Tennessee is under a state of emergency.
MTSU closes for the first time in years.
And city council members are being chosen.
All of those stories and more on MT10 News. Your news starts right now.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Brock Howard.
And I'm Emily Kinzer. We have some breaking news this hour. The wine grocery bill has passed in the Tennessee Senate late this afternoon. More on that story is coming later in the broadcast, but first, winter weather has moved right on into Middle Tennessee, and it's canceling class for school-age children and college students all across Rutherford County.
The snowfall may not have been as heavy as expected, but ice made road conditions dangerous early this morning.
MT10 News reporter Chris Davis found out how the weather is causing all sorts of problems across the country.
In the early hours of the morning, road conditions were dangerous as a thin layer of ice coated many roads in Rutherford County. Murfreesboro police reported incidents at multiple intersections and even asked drivers to avoid the I-24 on-ramp off Medical Center Parkway. As the day went on, much of the ice melted, allowing drivers to return to the road. But just because the ice melts doesn't mean the problems are over. Heavy precipitation caused the Stone River to rise out of its banks, flooding much of the Murfreesboro Greenway. To put into perspective, where I'm standing right now when we first got here was completely dry. As you can see, the water is rising at a considerable rate and will only continue to do so as the snow on the ground continues to melt and precipitation continues to fall. According to the TVA measurements at Percy Priest Dam, Stones River has risen 6 feet in the last 24 hours. Water is already starting to seep into low-lying areas in Old Fort Park. As snow continues to melt, river levels are expected to continue to rise. Reporting for MT10 News, I'm Chris Davis.
Thanks, Chris. The Corps of Engineers is monitoring the Stones River levels. Though the channel is in flood stage, they don't think the river will reach a high enough level to have a dramatic impact on the community. We'll certainly follow this story closely and keep you updated if more information becomes available.
The sweep of winter weather in Middle Tennessee causes the largest university in the state to cancel classes.
We're very hesitant on closing campus because we're a very large university with a lot of moving parts.
Empty parking lots, snow-covered lawns, and flooding made this campus look like a ghost town. Students enjoyed the snow day away from campus as officials expressed their concerns for the road conditions.
There's some icy spots in different places, areas where you have like culverts and stuff that run under the road. That part of the road gets colder a lot faster, therefore it'll freeze over a lot quicker.
The Rutherford County Street Department is not expecting a refreeze tonight.
Usually MTSU's quad is full of students studying in between classes, but with the university closed, today the scene outside is much different. MT10 reporter Jackson Jones joins us live from the quad. Jackson?
Unless you're from the north and used to this type of weather, you're probably like me right now, very cold. And as you can see on MTSU's campus, there's only one word to describe the atmosphere right now: calm. Students are inside their dorms right now, either studying for midterms or they're cuddling close together for warmth. And it seems like the weather is just not letting up today at all, and local law enforcement and officials are still considering tonight's temperatures with frozen roads going into the early hours of the morning. But this today has been a winter wonderland for most people, and others a complete and utter nightmare. And as you can see behind me, there are still remnants of snow on the ground and in the trees, and it seems like it's not going away for quite some time. I'm going to take it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jackson. He did not look warm out there.
He didn't at all. I know that students may not have gotten the snowfall that they wanted, but it sure was nice to have a day out of school. Now, the wine grocery bill has passed in the Tennessee Senate late this afternoon. The bill passed the state Senate last week, which means that legislation will now move on to the governor's desk. If the governor signs the bill into law, it will allow counties to vote on whether they will allow the fermented drink to be sold on grocery store shelves. It's been almost a decade-long struggle to pass this bill, and it hasn't been without some controversy from liquor store owners. The referendum for each county could potentially be on the election ballots across the state by next November.
When is it safe to cross the road? Does the driver always have the right-of-way, or is it the pedestrian? MTSU is home to almost 25,000 students. These students travel across many busy intersections to and from classes, but no one seems to know the laws regarding pedestrians.
All I know is that I can cross the street on the crosswalks.
I'm not aware of the exact laws.
I'm not really aware of what the actual laws say, but I believe that the vehicles are supposed to stop when there's somebody entering the crosswalk and obviously in the crosswalk.
Keeping pedestrians safe is not only the driver's responsibility, but the pedestrians as well.
I think it's a team effort, because, pedestrians, they have to look out for their own lives, but at the same time, you have a responsibility driving in a car, and you have to be able to keep yourself safe and everybody else safe around you.
Speed humps and pedestrian crossing signs are currently in effect, and there are no plans as of now to increase pedestrian safety.
I don't know if any changes need to be made, but maybe a little bit more awareness of what the rules are for pedestrians and drivers.
Just like what Mom said when you were 5 years old, look both ways before you cross the street.
We are taught at an early age to look both ways before crossing the street, but with the recent increase in pedestrian deaths, is looking both ways really enough? MT10 News has spoken with campus police about pedestrian safety and the laws regarding pedestrians on campus.
The university basically has a pretty simple policy with regards to pedestrians on campus, and that is that they have the right-of-way in crosswalks.
Now, the laws regarding pedestrians are different in town than on campus. On campus, the pedestrian has the right-of-way, and in town, it's the driver.
In international news, the Ukraine has been trying to recover from civil unrest and has another problem, which could lead to more civil unrest as well as war with its neighbor. Ukraine is under siege by Russia despite warnings from President Obama and the United Nations for Russian President Vladimir Putin not to intervene. Russian military forces in the thousands were sent to the Crimean Peninsula of Ukraine just this weekend. U.S. citizens are expressing their concerns as well. As you can see in the video, some gathered at the White House Saturday to protest President Putin's involvement in the other country's internal affairs. They carried signs asking President Obama to tell Putin to leave Ukraine alone. However, despite criticism from President Obama and the international community, Putin has sent about 6,000 Russian troops to the peninsula so far. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry claims Russian advances in Ukraine are a threat to the country's sovereignty, which has been independent since the fall of the Soviet Union. Kerry plans to arrive in Ukraine tomorrow to discuss what is to be done. U.S. economic sanctions on Russia are a possibility.
Still ahead on MT10 News, there may be some new leads in the Holly Bobo case.
And a new law could change when you can and can't use your phone. That's coming up next on MT10 News. City elections are coming up next, and a question and answer session with the candidates is happening right now.
That's right, a meeting is being held that will help determine who is elected for mayor, city council, and the school board.
MT10 reporter Amira Alkiyama joins us right now with the very latest. Amira, take it away.
That's right, I'm here at the City Hall, and I am standing outside of the council chambers, where just behind these doors there is a forum that will help to determine the city council members. So there's 8 candidates and there's 3 open spots. Questions are being asked by those who are part of the MTSU Campus American Democracy Project. Now, the candidates did have a chance to look at those questions beforehand. However, their answers are being timed. After this meeting is over, there will be another meeting that starts around 7:45. That will be structured in the same way. The 2 city mayor candidates will once again be answering questions, and those answers to the questions could help determine a vote or not. So as you can tell, this is a big deal for the city. Early voting will be held between March 26th and April 10th. Election day is April 15th. Reporting live at City Hall with MT10 HD, I'm Amira Alkiyami. Brock and Emily,
Thanks,
back
Amira.
to you in the studio.
We'll have a follow-up of what happens as the night continues. And we'll post the information on our Facebook page.
Tennessee authorities may have new leads in the case of a missing woman who disappeared in 2011.
We believe that there are people, individuals in Decatur County that have some vital information pertaining to the disappearance of Holly Bobo.
On Friday, investigators conducted a search at Zachary Adams' home. Adams was arrested by Decatur County Police on unrelated assault charges during the search. After the search, at least 4 vehicles were towed away from the property. Officials are continuing to interview people in surrounding counties who may have more information on the story.
In a drug raid in Campbell County, police uncovered $175,000 in cash along with guns, marijuana, and prescription pills. Campbell County deputies searched the home of Edgar Whitney Muse on Friday after investigating the case for months. Along with the cash, officials found 49 guns, 4 bags, and hundreds of assorted prescription pills. According to the Campbell County Sheriff's Department, Muse has not been charged yet. However, deputies said they will make an arrest after they receive lab results from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
A man is arrested Friday for attempting to rob a Walgreens on Murfreesboro Pike. Philip Pomeroy violated his parole when he attempted aggravated robbery. He tried to use a knife to steal cigarettes from a Walgreens on 1081 Murfreesboro Pike in Nashville. Officers had been near the store and found Pomeroy after they had watched the surveillance recordings from the store. Officers discovered Pomeroy's pants behind the bushes when they were doing search at a neighboring building.
Franklin police cited 2 restaurants on Friday night for serving alcohol to underage customers. An underage informant who was part of a police operation went into 14 different Franklin businesses in order to drink. Although 12 of the businesses carded and denied the minor, the informant was allegedly served at TGI Fridays on Cool Springs Boulevard and Mickey Ross on Hillsborough Road. According to the police, the servers at both restaurants were cited with Class A misdemeanors while the owners are facing civil penalties.
A Franklin police officer is injured while investigating a crash on I-65 near Murfreesboro Road on Sunday night. The officer was hospitalized after the parked police car he was in was struck by another vehicle. Authorities had been on scene around 7 p.m. because of a previous crash that had occurred. While investigating, another car plowed into the police vehicles. According to the police, the officer was taken to a local hospital for neck pain. The initial crash that police had originally been therefore was finally cleared later in the evening.
Trees help us breathe and are a natural attribute to all communities across the world, but have you thought of your water quality lately? On Saturday, a tree planting event was held at Garrison Creek in East Murfreesboro to help protect local weather quality. The partnerships between the Tennessee Environmental Council, the City of Murfreesboro Water and Sewer Department, and the MTSU Stormwater Program planted an effort of 10,000 trees. Most importantly, to create a protection zone for improved water because trees filter out pollutants, oil, and dirt from streams when it rains as well as cools the water.
Some Tennessee lawmakers are hoping to pass a bill that will further restrict cell phone use while driving. This bill is in the Tennessee House of Representatives, would make it illegal to call anyone or answer your phone while driving. However, drivers would still be able to talk with hand-free devices. If the law gets passed, anyone caught talking on their phone would get a warning first, and repeat offenders would be charged up to $500 in fines. The bill hopes to encourage people to stay safe and not to touch their phones until they have safely reached their destinations.
This past week at MTSU was a time for praise and applause for the new production from Tucker Theater, A-Man Corner.
That's right, it really was great. Our reporter Jackson Jones viewed the play this weekend, and he tells us why it was so great.
Give them a stage, give them an audience. Director Deborah Anderson and her cast and crew will put on a fantastic production for MTSU Arts at Tucker Theater.
This play was really important because this is actually MTSU's very first full African-American cast on this Tucker Theater stage. We have had a production in our studio, but this is the very first one on this Tucker Theater stage.
A-Man Corner by James Baldwin has been playing for audiences from February 26th through March 2nd.
We opened it during Black History Month, which we chose very carefully, and the cast has put so much into it, and our designers. We even brought in a guest scenic designer for this performance who worked very hard.
From unique set designs to incredible acting, and important roles on and off the stage, people like Pauline McGowan, who portrays Margaret, the play's main character, were happy to be a part of this experience.
I'm a theater major and I'm a senior and I'm graduating, and I just felt the need to really audition one last time, and I ended up getting, the lead, and it's a great experience. It was a great experience working with all my friends one more time and being in an all African American cast.
After a successful first run, and audiences screaming hallelujah for Amen Corner, the arts department and more are looking forward to more productions in the future. From MT10 News, I'm Jackson Jung.
Thank you, Jackson. Amen's Corner was first of many plays coming to MTSU's Tucker Theater.
The theater department will be posting dates soon. Still to come on MT10 News, the Lady Raiders get a big win.
And MTSU men keep on winning. CJ Ecke has that just ahead in sports.
Sleet, snow, and ice. Accidents all across the nation, and 16,000 people without power, all due to Winter Storm Titan. And that all leads to bitterly cold temperatures tonight. Stay tuned and I'll let you know more.
As we mentioned to you earlier in the show, the weather tonight is dominating the headlines.
It really is, Brock. It is so cold outside. Darcy Payne joins us with what we can expect for the rest of the week.
Thanks, guys. Snowfall today. It was an inch altogether, and ice on the road seemed to be the main problem. It feels like 17 degrees outside, but really it's 28. It's not too bad. Humidity spiked to 100% though. Right now, our microcast, all of it's moving past Tennessee right now. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Winter Storm Titan is gone. And later it might be a little bit of a light wintry precipitation that will continue. As for Titan's impact, the north was hit pretty hard by Winter Storm Titan on Sunday evening, and the winter storm won't give up. It's bitterly cold out there, and it stretches into March. And there's record temperatures, and now we're warming up. It's going to be 51 degrees. Look at that in Washington, D.C. They are moving up from 22 to 51, as well as Kansas City going into 56. As for this week's temperatures, we're actually moving up and following the same trend. It's going to be pretty warm this weekend. You might be able to go out and hang out with your friends at the park. It's going to be up in the 40s and 50s this weekend. As for our Tuesday planner, if you're going to school tomorrow, if anybody's going to school tomorrow, who knows if MTSU is going to be canceling again. It's going to be 16 degrees early in the morning, so prepare for that. It's going to be pretty cold. And as for the mid-afternoon, it's going to be 38 degrees with low winds, partly cloudy. And it's going to be mostly cloudy at night, but it's going to be warming up to 47 degrees. As an extended part of that, it's a little bit colder up in the north, so we're pretty lucky that we're not in the 20s or the zeros right now. As for the 7-day forecast, Tuesday, tomorrow, it's going to be partly cloudy, 45 degrees, and as we move into the weekend, it's going to be partly cloudy throughout the week, and then it's going to be a little bit warmer on Sunday and Monday, and it's going to be 52 degrees and 62 degrees. So it's going to be pretty nice out there, guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Darcy.
Now, Nikki joins us at South Rutherford on the campus of MTSU to tell us what we can expect for the weather. She's there right now. Nikki, take it away.
Thanks, Emily. We've been driving around the Rutherford County, Murfreesboro city streets. They are 10 times better than they were this morning, completely drivable. There might be some spots on the side roads, but other than that, they're ready to go. Murfreesboro officials are saying despite the 7-degree temperature that it's supposed to reach tonight, they're not concerned about a refreeze. So for all of you parents who are out there and are concerned about school tomorrow, the roads are going to be drivable. We're not concerned about that. Like Emily said, we're out here at MTSU in Rutherford. We had an easy drive in, easy drive around campus. So all of you students who are nearby, stay safe, but you should be okay to make those last-minute runs for milk and bread. Back to you guys at the desk.
Still to come on MT10 News, Blackman's women's team reaches the state tournament.
And a man saves a dog in a really creative way. That's ahead next on MT10 News. Now, I know the state tournament is coming up soon, Brock.
True, and the Lady Blaze are ranked #1 in the state.
They really are. So CJ Ecke is here tonight, and he's going to give us a look at MTSU sports. CJ, take it away.
Thanks, guys. First, we're going to start off with breaking news that came this morning regarding the boys basketball tournament. Now, the Power Siegel and Blackman, their games for this Monday were postponed due to the conditions outside the mid-state area. Now, Siegel will play Walker Valley at home on Monday, while the Blaze traveled to Stone Memorial. Now, we're going to take a look at the girls' sectionals that took place this weekend, the Blackman Blaze looked to return to the state tournament. Now the Blaze took on Cumberland County, and let's just be real. This was the Crystal Dangerfield show. Popson hits this jumper. She did it on all facets, offense, driving, distributing the ball. This long pass was an impressive one that was finished by Alex Johnson. Later, she would do it off the break in the second half. She would finish here, and then after that, she decided to add a little defense. She finished with 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals to lead the Blaze back to the state tournament to a 72-39 win. Now, we're going to continue with Rick Insel's Lady Raiders, who were looking for their Conference USA title. Now, the Raiders took on UAB, but they were cold early on. This 3, they put them down 11 in the second half, but that's when the Lady Raiders began to roar. Shanice Kaysen hits this 3 to cut the lead to 8. Later on, Kiki Stewart knocks this 3 down, cuts the lead to 5. And then Ebony Rowe went to work. Underneath, she was an absolute demon. 16 of her 22 points came in the second half. Stewart again. This was part of a 26-8 run in the final 8 minutes that led the Lady Raiders to their first Conference USA Championship and a 68-58 win over UAB. Now, with the win, the Lady Raiders clinched their 6th straight conference championship. First coming in the with the first 5 coming in the Sun Belt Conference. Now, Rick Insell talked about the team's performance and how they wanted home field court advantage throughout the tournament.
Oh, no matter where we go in this conference, if it's Marshall or Tulane or Rice or UTEP, our best bet was going to be right here at Murphy Center. So we, going into today's game, we said, let's take our best shot right here.
It's amazing to come out and just get this big win. We are the first team, so we want to send a message to the rest of the teams and say, hey, you know, we're here. We didn't come here just by a miracle. We're here to win it all.
Knew it. As soon as I was looking in my teammates' eyes, I don't know what it is, but we get going and we're just not going to lose.
Now, the Lady Raiders are ranked number 22 in the nation, according to the Associated Press. Now, when I'm done with sports, we're going to send it back to the desk.
Thank you, CJ. A dog stranded on a Texas highway gets a little help from a stranger. This yellow lab didn't stand a chance until Ricky Young showed up. Young heard about the dog on the radio, and he rushed to help. He pulled out a sandwich and lured her into his truck, and he headed off to the SPCA. The timing was critical because vets say the dog had broken bones and internal bleeding. They think the dog doesn't have an owner, but she now has something she didn't have before, and that's hope. Ricky Young can be thanked for that.
Thank you for joining us for MT10 News. I'm Brock Howard.
And I'm Emily Kinzer. Now be sure to stay tuned for this weather. We're going to keep you updated as the night goes on.
Have a good night.
Thank you.